Alrighty, today we're going to be talking about converting fractions to decimals and rounding. So when we want to change a fraction to a decimal, we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator, which basically means we're dividing the denominator into the numerator. So with a fraction like 4/5, we're going to divide the 5 into the 4. Of course, 5 does not go into 4 evenly, so we'll have to add a decimal and as many zeros as we need after the 4. 5 goes into 48 times evenly, so we're done with that one. That means that 4/5 as a decimal is 0.8. For our next example, we have a mixed number. So you can either change that to an improper fraction and divide the denominator into the numerator, or we can know that since we have the whole number 1, our decimal is going to be 1 point, whatever 5/8 is as a decimal. So we're going to divide 8 into 5 here. 8 does not go into 5, so I'm going to add a decimal and as many zeros as I need. 8 goes into 50 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. Bring down a 0. 8 goes into 20 twice. Bring down another 0, and 8 goes into 40 evenly 5 times. So 5/8 as a decimal is 0.625, but remember, we had this one whole number part, so we want to make our decimal 1.625. The 1 is from the whole number here, and the 0.625 is from the 5/8. And our last example on this side is 2/9. We're going to divide the denominator into the numerator. 9 does not go into 2, so I'm going to add a decimal and as many zeros as I need. 9 times 2 is 18. Subtract to get 2 and bring down another 0, and you'll see I get 20 again. Oops, I forgot to write the 2 up here. And then it just keeps on going like this forever and ever and ever, so this is going to keep on being 2, so we're going to use a repeating bar over the 2 to show that 2/9 equals 0.2 repeating. All right, the other side covers rounding decimals. So when we round a decimal, we're going to look at the number to the right of the place we're rounding to, and if it's less than 5, we're going to keep it, and if it's 5 or more, we're going to round it up. So let's try some examples. If we're rounding to the nearest tenth, which is right here, we're looking at the number just to the right of the tenths place, which is a 2, and since that's less than 5, we're going to keep the 1 the same and drop everything after it. So since we're rounding to the nearest tenth, the tenths place is the last number we're going to see in that decimal when we write our answer. For rounding to the nearest whole number, which in this case is 4, we're going to look at the number just to the right of it, which is 5. And if it's 5 or more, that means we're going to round this number up to 5 and drop everything after it, so it's just 5. For example 3, it asks us to round to the nearest hundredths place, but you can see this is the tenths. It doesn't have the hundredths place. But a repeating bar means that we're going to have 3's forever and ever and ever. So if we write it out a little more, we'll have the hundredths place right here. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to underline it. So we're going to look at the number just to the right of the hundredths place, which is a 3. And since 3 is less than 5, we're going to keep it at 0.33 and drop everything after it. So since this is the hundredths place, that's where we're stopping when we write our answer. All right, example number 4 is asking us again to round to the hundredths. I'm going to look at the place directly to the right. Since it's 5 or more, I'm going to round that 5 up to a 6 and drop everything after it. There's thousands place here, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. We look at the number just to the right. Since it's 5 or more, we're going to round that 8 up to a 9 and drop everything after it. And then the last example asks us to round to the nearest cent. We know that with money, we always have 2 decimal places. So the cent is this 6, the hundredths. Really, the cent is the hundredths place because money has 2 decimal places. Since this is 5 or more, the 8, the number to the right of the cent, we're going to round that up to $14.57. All right, guys, thanks for watching.